I lost everything in 8 hours.
My job.
My reputation, my marriage, my family's respect, everything I'd built over 32 years of living, gone before lunchtime on a random Tuesday in March. And the weapon that destroyed me? 6 photographs. 6 perfect, crystal clear, devastatingly real photographs of me cheating on my husband, kissing another man at the Japanese garden, holding hands over candlelit dinners, walking through downtown Portland like we owned the world together. Here's the thing that kept me awake for 72 hours straight. I had never met that man. Not once. Not ever. Those moments never happened. But the photos looked so real that even I started doubting my own memory. My principal suspended me after parents threatened to pull their kids from my English class. My mother called me crying, asking how I could betray such a good man. Strangers on the internet called me trash. My best friend from college unfriended me without a word. Daniel, my husband of 8 years, changed the locks on our apartment and refused to answer my calls. All because of 6 photographs that looked absolutely, undeniably, impossibly real. I spent 3 days screaming into the void that I was innocent, that this wasn't me, that something was wrong. And you know what everyone said? The photos don't lie. Except they did lie. Because my husband, the quiet software engineer who solved crossword puzzles on Sunday mornings and never raised his voice, had created those photos using artificial intelligence. He'd trained an AI model on pictures from our actual life together and used it to manufacture evidence of an affair that never existed. He did it deliberately, methodically, with a timeline and a plan. And he did it for the most gut-wrenching reason you can imagine. But here's what Daniel didn't know when he pressed post on those photos and watched my world burn. Here's what he couldn't have predicted when he was playing God with pixels and algorithms. Those fake photos? They led me straight to a secret so much darker than anything he'd invented. A secret that involved dozens of other victims.
Federal crimes.
A hidden income of over $160,000. And a marketplace where people paid premium prices to destroy each other with manufactured lies. Because while everyone was staring at fake evidence of my betrayal, nobody was looking at his .my name is Melissa, and 6 months ago, I was a completely different person. I was a high school English teacher in Portland, married for 8 years to a man I thought I knew. Daniel was a software engineer, brilliant, quiet, the type who could solve any technical problem but struggled with emotional ones. We had a comfortable life. A nice apartment in the Pearl District. Weekend hikes. Dinner with friends. The kind of marriage that looks perfect in holiday cards but feels fine. Just fine. That should have been my first warning. It started on a Tuesday morning in March. I was brewing coffee when my phone exploded with notifications. Text after text. Instagram DMs. Emails. My sister. My mother. Friends I hadn't spoken to in months. All asking the same question in different, horrified ways. Is it true? I remember standing there in my kitchen, coffee pot in hand, completely confused. My sister's message was the most direct. Mel, please tell me these photos are fake. Please. My hands shook as I opened the link she'd sent. It led to a Facebook post on Daniel's page, posted at 6:47 a.m. while I'd been in the shower. The post was public, visible to everyone. And the caption made my blood freeze. I never thought I'd be writing this. After 8 years of marriage, I discovered my wife has been having an affair. These photos were sent to me anonymously yesterday.
I'm devastated. I'm heartbroken.
But I believe in truth, so I'm sharing them here. Melissa, if you're reading this, we're done. Below the text were 6 photographs, and every single one of them showed me with another man. The first photo showed me at a restaurant I'd never been to, leaning across a candlelit table, my hand covering a man's hand. I was wearing my favorite blue dress, the one I'd worn to my cousin's wedding last summer. My expression was intimate, adoring, the type of look that doesn't lie. The second showed me walking down a street in downtown Portland, laughing, my arm linked through this same man's arm. It was clearly evening. City lights glowed behind us. We looked like lovers. The third was worse. We were kissing. standing in front of what looked like the Japanese garden, one of my favorite places in the city. His hands were in my hair. Mine were clutched against his chest. The fourth, fifth, and sixth photos showed us in various locations around Portland. At Powell's Books, on the waterfront, getting into a car together. Each image was perfectly composed, perfectly lit, perfectly devastating. The man in the photos was attractive, dark hair, strong jaw, expensive clothes. I had absolutely no idea who he was. I'd never seen him before in my life. But in those photographs, I was clearly, undeniably in love with him. I dropped my phone, actually dropped it onto the kitchen floor, where the screen cracked against the tile. My heart was pounding so hard I could feel it in my throat. This wasn't possible. This wasn't real. I'd never cheated on Daniel. I'd never even thought about it. I picked up my phone with shaking hands and scrolled through the comments. There were already 47 of them. Daniel's mother. I always knew she wasn't good enough for you, sweetheart. My coworker Jenny. Wow.
Just wow.
I work with her every day and had no idea. Daniel's college friend Marcus. Brother, I'm so sorry. You deserve better. A stranger named Sarah. This is why I have trust issues. Women are trash. My own cousin posted, Melissa, how could you do this to him? I tried to call Daniel immediately. It went to voicemail. I called again. Voicemail. I sent him a text, my fingers barely able to type. Those photos are fake. I have never cheated on you. Please call me.
He didn't respond.
I called him 17 times that morning. Nothing. By lunchtime, the post had been shared 230 times. Friends of friends were commenting. People from high school I hadn't spoken to in 15 years were sending me hateful messages. Someone created a Twitter thread about me. Teacher caught cheating on devoted husband. That got 3,000 likes. My principal called me at 1:15 p.m. His voice was stiff, uncomfortable. Melissa, I need you to take a leave of absence while we investigate this situation. Parents are calling. There are concerns about your judgment and your representation of our school values. Mr. Hernandez, those photos are fake. They're not real. I never. We'll discuss it when you return. For now, please don't come to campus. He hung up before I could respond. And that was just the first 8 hours. I had no idea the nightmare had only begun. I spent that entire day trying to prove my innocence, and it was like screaming into a void. I posted on my own Facebook a detailed explanation that I'd never been to those locations with that man, never cheated, never even met him. 20 people unfriended me within an hour. My post got exactly 3 supportive comments versus 68 calling me a liar. The photos don't lie, someone wrote. Just admit it and move on, wrote another. You can literally see your face. Stop gaslighting everyone, wrote a third. They were right about one thing. You absolutely could see my face. Every angle was clear. Every expression was perfectly captured. The lighting was flawless. The locations were real Portland landmarks I'd been to dozens of times. If I didn't know with absolute certainty that I'd never done these things, even I would have believed the photos. That night, I drove to Daniel's office. His car was in the parking lot. I waited for 3 hours, but he never came out. I called his desk phone from the parking lot. He answered, then immediately hung up when he heard my voice. I went home to our apartment and found that he'd changed the locks. My key didn't work. I stood there in the hallway, bags of groceries in my hands, unable to get into my own home. My neighbor, Mrs. Chen, opened her door and looked at me with something between pity and disgust. He told me you wouldn't be living here anymore, she said quietly. He told me what you did. I ended up at my sister's house that night. Rachel was the only person who believed me unconditionally. She opened the door, took one look at my face, and pulled me into a hug that made me finally break down. I sobbed on her couch for 2 hours while she rubbed my back and kept saying, "We'll figure this out. We'll fix this." But how do you fix photos that look completely real? The next morning, I went to the police. The officer who took my report was sympathetic, but ultimately useless. Ma'am, these photos could be manipulated, but they'd need to be forensically analyzed. That's expensive. And even if they are fake, we'd need to prove who created them and their intent. Your husband posting photos he believes are real isn't a crime. He made them up, I said desperately. He has to have made them up. I was never there. I never met that man. The officer looked uncomfortable. Do you have proof you weren't in those locations on those dates? I stared at him. How do you prove a negative? How do you prove you weren't somewhere? I couldn't remember what I'd been doing on every single evening over the past few months. I didn't have alibis for random Tuesday or Thursday nights. I'd been at home, at work, living my normal, boring life. I teach high school, I said weakly. I grade papers at night. I watch Netflix. That's my life. He nodded slowly. I understand this is difficult, but without concrete evidence, this is a civil matter between you and your husband. I left the police station feeling more hopeless than when I'd arrived. But then I got angry. And anger, it turned out, was exactly what I needed. Over the next 3 days, I became obsessed with those photographs. I studied every pixel, every shadow, every reflection. I sent them to a photographer friend who confirmed what I already suspected. They were extraordinarily high quality, professional level composition and lighting. But there was something slightly off about them. The shadows didn't quite match the time of day. My skin texture looked too smooth in some areas, too detailed in others. Small inconsistencies that you'd only notice if you were looking for them. These could be AI generated, my photographer friend said carefully. Have you heard of deepfake technology? It's getting scary good.
I generated.
Deepfake. The words rattled around in my brain. Daniel was a software engineer who specialized in machine learning. Daniel had been spending an unusual amount of time on his computer lately, always closing windows when I walked into the room. Daniel had been distant for months, pulling away from me emotionally in ways I'd attributed to work stress. I called Rachel. I need to get into the apartment. I need to see Daniel's computer. Mel, that's breaking and entering. It's my apartment, my home. He illegally locked me out.
My voice was rising.
Rachel, he destroyed my life with fake photos. I need to know if he made them. She was quiet for a long moment. Okay, but we do this smart. The next day was Saturday. Daniel always went to the gym from 9 to 11 on Saturday mornings, a routine he'd maintained for years. Rachel and I drove to the apartment building. Mrs. Chin was leaving for her morning walk. When she saw me, her expression turned cold. Please, I said before she could speak. I just need 10 minutes to get some of my things. He won't even talk to me. Maybe she saw something in my desperation. Maybe she just wanted me gone. She handed me a key. I have a spare from when I watered their plants. 10 minutes. I'm not lying for you, if he asks. My hands shook as I unlocked the door to what used to be my home. The apartment looked exactly the same. Our wedding photo still hung on the wall. My plants were still on the windowsill, though they were starting to wilt. Daniel's laptop sat on the dining table, closed but not locked away. This was it, the moment that would change everything again. I opened the laptop. It wasn't password protected. Daniel had always been careless about that, trusting me completely. The irony wasn't lost on me. His desktop was organized with various work folders and personal files. I opened his browser history first. The most recent searches made my stomach drop. How to create realistic AI photos. Best deepfake software 2024. AI image generator people. Can AI photos be detected? How to make AI images look real. I sat down hard in the dining room chair. There it was. Proof. He'd researched how to do exactly what I'd suspected. But I needed more than browser history. I needed the actual images, the software, the evidence. I opened his documents folder and started searching. There were hundreds of files, work projects, personal photos, random downloads. I was running out of time. Rachel texted, 7 minutes left. Then I saw it, a folder labeled project_M for Melissa. I clicked it open and my world tilted. Inside were hundreds of AI-generated images, different versions of the photos he'd posted. Some with me in different outfits, different locations, different poses with the mystery man. There were also images of just me, my face isolated, expression templates, what looked like training data for an AI model. He'd fed the system photos of me from our life together, vacation pictures, selfies, dinner dates, and used them to create something entirely false. There was also a document titled Timeline Docs. I opened it. It was a plan, a detailed, methodical plan. March 1st, finalize images. Ensure quality passes visual inspection. March 2nd, create anonymous email. Send previews to self to establish received from unknown source narrative. March 3rd, post publicly. Timing, early morning before M wakes. Maximum impact. March 4th to 10th, maintain no contact. Let social pressure build. Expected outcomes, divorce on favorable terms. M's reputation damaged. Custody considerations, if applicable, future. Financial settlement heavily in my favor given infidelity. I couldn't breathe. This wasn't a mistake. This wasn't a moment of insecurity or jealousy spiraling out of control. This was premeditated, calculated. He'd planned to destroy me.
But why?
I kept reading through his files, my hands shaking so badly I could barely control the mouse. There had to be a reason. People don't do this without a reason. Then I found the folder labeled legal_documents. Inside was a document from a lawyer dated February 15th, 2 weeks before the photos appeared. It was a consultation about divorce proceedings in Oregon. The lawyer had outlined Daniel's options. Under Oregon law, we'd likely split assets 50-50 in a no-fault divorce. Our apartment, our savings, everything divided equally. But there was a note at the bottom, highlighted. Significant changes to settlement if adultery/infidelity proven. Could significantly favor your position, especially regarding character considerations. He'd done this for money, for a better divorce settlement. He'd created fake evidence of me cheating, so he could leave the marriage with more of our assets and make me look like the villain. My phone buzzed. Rachel, get out now. Mrs. Chin says she sees Daniel's car. I grabbed the laptop. I know I shouldn't have, but I grabbed it and ran. Rachel was waiting in the car with the engine running. I jumped in, and she floored it out of the parking lot just as Daniel's silver Honda turned the corner. Did you find anything? Rachel asked. Everything, I whispered. I found everything, but I hadn't found everything. Not even close. That night at Rachel's house, I went through every file on Daniel's laptop with the precision of an archaeologist excavating a crime scene. The AI-generated photos were damning. The timeline document was devastating. But as I dug deeper into his files, I started finding things that didn't make sense. There were encrypted folders I couldn't open without passwords. There were chat logs from apps I didn't recognize. And there was a folder labeled income_secondary that contained spreadsheets showing thousands of dollars in transactions I'd never seen in our joint bank account. The transactions dated back almost 2 years. Payments ranging from $500 to $3,000, all labeled with cryptic codes like custom_project_47 or personal_commission_89. The total amount was staggering, over $160,000. What was Daniel doing that generated that kind of money? I searched his computer for any connection to those transaction codes. Finally, in a buried subfolder, I found a link to a website I'd never heard of, Exclusive Creations Net. I clicked it. The site loaded slowly, black background with silver text. Custom AI content creation. Discreet. Professional. Premium. There was a login portal and nothing else. No information about what they actually created. No company details. No contact information beyond an encrypted email address. I tried to log in using Daniel's usual passwords. Nothing worked, but in his browser's saved passwords, I found credentials for the site under a username I didn't recognize. DigitalDreamer_D. I logged in, and I immediately wished I hadn't. The site was a marketplace, a place where people could commission custom AI-generated images and videos. But these weren't innocent projects. The categories were sorted by type: revenge, fantasy, evidence, blackmail, adult content, political, corporate. Daniel's account showed he'd been a creator on the site for 23 months. He'd completed over 200 projects. The reviews were glowing. Digital Dreamer _ created perfect images of my ex admitting to theft. Helped me win my custody case. 5 stars. Needed photos for insurance claim. Looked completely real. Couldn't have done it without DD. Highly recommend. Best deepfake creator on the site. Fast, professional, realistic. Will use again. My husband wasn't just making fake photos of me. He was making fake photos for dozens of other people. For money. Creating false evidence. Manufacturing lies. Helping people destroy each other with pixels and algorithms. The income suddenly made sense. He was charging premium rates, sometimes thousands of dollars per project, to create fake realities for clients who wanted to ruin someone's life, win a legal case, or extract revenge. I felt sick. Physically, violently sick. I ran to Rachel's bathroom and threw up. When I came back, hands shaking, I forced myself to keep looking. In Daniel's messages on the site, I found conversations with clients. People asking him to create images of their spouses cheating, employees stealing, business partners committing fraud, political opponents in compromising positions. He approached each request with professional detachment, discussing angles and lighting and believability like he was arranging a photo shoot, not manufacturing evidence for potential crimes. But one conversation stopped me cold. It was from a client named JusticeSeeker_42, dated 4 months ago. I need photos showing my sister embezzling from our family business. She's been controlling everything since Dad died and cut me out. I need evidence to take to the board. Can you make it look like security footage from her office? Daniel's response: I can do that. Send me photos of her, details about the office layout, and specifics about what you want shown. Pricing starts at $4,500 for this type of project. The client agreed. Sent photos. Sent office details. Sent specific instructions about what the fake security footage should show. His sister transferring money, forging documents, all fabricated. Daniel delivered the project 2 weeks later. The client's final message said, "Perfect. Board meeting is next week. She'll be out and I'll be in control. Worth every penny." I was looking at evidence of conspiracy to commit fraud, possibly dozens of crimes. And Daniel had documented all of it on his own computer, probably thinking he was protected by encryption and anonymity. But he'd made one critical mistake. He'd underestimated me. I spent the entire night making copies of everything. Every file, every conversation, every transaction. I uploaded it all to a secure cloud storage account Daniel didn't know about. Then I contacted a lawyer, not a divorce lawyer, a criminal defense attorney Rachel's husband recommended. His name was Marcus Chun, no relation to Mrs. Chun, and he agreed to see me first thing Monday morning. I brought the laptop and walked him through everything I'd found. Marcus listened without interrupting, his expression growing more serious with each revelation. When I finished, he sat back in his chair and let out a long breath. "Mrs. Patterson, what your husband did to you is potentially illegal under Oregon's identity theft and fraud statutes. Creating fake evidence of infidelity could be considered fraud, and depending on how it's impacted you, we might have grounds for civil damages." He paused. "But this other material, the marketplace, the client work, this is something else entirely. This is potentially federal.
White fraud.
Conspiracy. If his creations were used in court cases or insurance claims, we're talking about serious criminal activity." "What do I do?" I asked. "First, we protect you. We document everything he did to you and begin building a case. Second, I'm going to connect you with a federal prosecutor I know. This marketplace needs to be investigated by people with resources I don't have." He leaned forward. "But Melissa, I need you to understand something. Once we open this door, there's no closing it. Your husband will face serious legal consequences. This will get worse before it gets better." I thought about my reputation destroyed, my job suspended, my family torn apart by lies, the hatred in those Facebook comments, the way my own mother had called me crying, asking how I could have done this to such a good man. "Open the door," I said. The next 3 months were chaos. Marcus filed an emergency motion to clear my name, attaching forensic analysis of the photos proving they were AI-generated. The analysis cost $7,000, money Rachel loaned me because I couldn't access our joint accounts, but it was definitive. The photos were fake. Daniel had created them using a sophisticated AI model trained on legitimate photos of me. The court ordered Daniel to retract his Facebook post and issue a public apology. He refused. His lawyer argued he'd legitimately believed the photos were real when he posted them, that he'd been a victim of anonymous harassment. They claimed someone else must have created the images and sent them to him. That argument collapsed when federal investigators raided our apartment and seized Daniel's computers. The FBI had gotten involved after Marcus reported the marketplace. Turns out Exclusive Creations, that wasn't just one website. It was part of a larger network of deepfake creation services operating in legal gray areas and sometimes well beyond them. Daniel was one of the most prolific creators on the platform. His work had been used in at least 12 verified legal cases, 6 insurance fraud attempts, and countless personal vendettas. The FBI agent who interviewed me was a woman named Sarah Reeves. She was kind but direct. "Miss Patterson, your case is actually what broke this open. But you should know that your husband's activities go beyond what you found. Some of his clients used his creations in criminal enterprises. We're building cases that may take years to fully resolve." "What about my case?" I asked. "What about what he did to me?" Oregon prosecutors are filing charges. Fraud, identity theft, and cyber harassment at minimum. His attempts to use fake evidence in a legal proceeding, the divorce, make it more serious. She paused. "He's facing significant prison time." I should have felt vindicated, triumphant. Instead, I felt hollow. The truth came out slowly, then all at once. Local news picked up the story. Local teacher victim of elaborate AI fraud scheme. The same people who'd called me a liar and worse suddenly flooded my Facebook with apologies. "I'm so sorry I didn't believe you. I should have known better. Can you ever forgive me?" My school reinstated me with back pay and a formal apology from the superintendent. Parents who demanded my firing sent emails expressing support. My principal called personally to tell me my job was secure, and he was ashamed he hadn't stood by me. But some damage couldn't be undone. The humiliation was public and permanent. Google my name, and the first results are still articles about the fake photos. Some friends never reached back out, too embarrassed by their reactions. My relationship with Daniel's family, people I'd loved for 8 years, was obliterated beyond repair. The divorce was finalized in July. I got everything: the apartment, the savings, a hefty settlement from Daniel's illegal earnings that the court ordered him to pay before they were seized. He didn't contest it. From jail, through his lawyer, he signed everything. I never spoke to him directly again, but he did send one letter, forwarded through Marcus. It was short. "Melissa, I won't insult you by asking for forgiveness. What I did was unforgivable. You asked me once why I did this, and I owe you the truth. I was planning to leave you for months, but I was angry. Angry that you were happy when I was miserable. Angry that you'd get half of everything when you didn't build the business I was building on the side. Angry that you'd move on and people would sympathize with you. The abandoned wife. I wanted you to hurt the way I was hurting. I wanted to control the narrative. I wanted to win. I created those photos to destroy you because I couldn't face being an honest person who just wasn't happy anymore. I was a coward, and I destroyed both our lives because of it. I'm sorry. I know that means nothing, but I'm sorry." I burned the letter. But here's what I learned, and here's why I'm telling you this story. The technology Daniel used isn't rare anymore. It isn't hidden on dark web marketplaces only criminals can access. AI image generation is everywhere now. Apps on your phone can create realistic photos of anything, anyone doing anything. And most people still believe photos are truth. After my story went public, I was contacted by 47 other people, 47 who'd experienced similar attacks. Fake photos used in custody battles. Fake videos used to get people fired. Fake evidence in court cases. Most of them never discovered the truth. They lost their children, their jobs, their freedom because pixels on a screen looked real enough. I started a nonprofit called Truth Verification Initiative. We help people prove when images are manipulated. We work with lawyers and forensic experts. We advocate for stronger laws around deepfakes and digital evidence. It doesn't pay much compared to teaching, but it matters. Daniel pleaded guilty to 14 federal charges and 7 state charges. He was sentenced to 12 years in federal prison. The marketplace was shut down, but 3 others popped up within weeks. The FBI is still investigating the network. They estimate hundreds of creators like Daniel are operating right now, manufacturing false realities for anyone willing to pay. I still teach English, though I moved to a different school district. I still live in Portland. I still love hiking and coffee shops and the Japanese garden where my fake photos showed me kissing a man I never met. I refuse to let Daniel's lies chase me away from my own life. But I'm different now. I look at photographs differently. I trust differently. When someone shows me proof of something, I ask questions. When I hear about someone being caught in a scandal with photographic evidence, I wonder if it's real. Because here's the truth nobody wants to face. We're living in a world where seeing is no longer believing. We're living in a world where anyone with basic software and malicious intent can destroy another person's life before breakfast. We're living in a world where your face, your body, your identity can be stolen and used against you, and most people will believe it's real. The technology that Daniel used to try to destroy me, it's only getting better. More accessible, more realistic, harder to detect. And most people have no idea it exists until it happens to them. So that's my story. The story of how my husband used artificial intelligence to convince the world I was a cheater, a liar, and a person I never was. The story of how I lost everything and fought my way back to something like a normal life. But it's also a warning, because what happened to me can happen to anyone. Your face, your family, your truth. All of it can be manipulated by someone with the right tools and the wrong intentions. Daniel thought he could create a new reality and make everyone believe it. And for a while, he did. The photos looked real. The evidence seemed undeniable. Even people who'd known me for years believed I'd done something I'd never do. In the end, the truth came out. But it almost didn't. If I'd been less persistent, if I hadn't broken into the apartment, if I hadn't found that laptop, I would still be the woman everyone thought cheated on her devoted husband. The teacher who lost her job. The person whose name is synonymous with betrayal. Sometimes I still wake up at 3 in the morning, heart pounding, reaching for my phone to check if new fake photos have appeared. The rational part of my brain knows Daniel is in prison. The marketplace is shut down. I'm safe. But the part of my brain that spent weeks watching my entire world believe a lie, that part never fully sleeps anymore. And maybe that's the real damage of what Daniel did. Not just the destroyed reputation or the lost job or the broken relationships, but the permanent erosion of certainty. The knowledge that reality itself is negotiable now. That truth is only as real as people's willingness to believe it. The technology won't disappear. It will only improve. And people like Daniel, people willing to weaponize it, will always exist. So I'm telling you this story not just as a confession or a cautionary tale. I'm telling you this so that when you see photos that seem too perfect, too damning, too conveniently timed, you'll ask questions. You'll demand proof. You'll remember that in 2024, a high school English teacher named Melissa lost everything because pixels on a screen looked real enough. Don't let seeing be believing anymore. Because in the world we live in now, nothing is as simple as it looks. And the person trying to destroy someone's life might be doing it from their dining room table while drinking morning coffee, creating false realities one AI-generated image at a time. That's the truth. The real truth. The only truth that matters. Everything else is just pictures. Some stories end, but others begin right here. Keep growing with the telling tree.